Hello, I'm Tim Heyer, Tulare County Superintendent of Schools. Welcome to the 2020 Kids of Character Provident-Salierno Family Foundation Awards. This video is a celebration of the 6 top honorees and 24 finalists in the Tulare County Character Counts Week celebration, which was held October 19th through the 24th. This was a special year for us as we commemorated our 25th annual celebration of National Character Counts Week. Each year since 1996, our office and the Visalia Times-Delta Tulare Advanced Register have teamed up to honor top students for each of the pillars of character: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. Despite the challenges of reporting during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Visalia Times-Delta editor, reporters, and photographers didn't miss a beat, running featured stories on the top honorees and finalists you'll meet tonight. We appreciate that the Times-Delta continues to share our commitment to character education and sees it as a true community asset. To further celebrate the top honorees and finalists named annually during Character Counts Week, longtime character education sponsors Tony and Mary Salierno partnered with us to create the Provident-Salierno Family Foundation Awards beginning in 2012. Several days ago, we held a drive-through celebration here at our office to award students with their scholarships made possible by our good friends Tony and Mary. You'll see some footage of the celebration in this video. Before I turn the program over to Kelly Petty, our Character Counts coordinator, I'd like to have Joshua Rodriguez from Tulare Union High School lead us in the flag salute.
Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Joshua. Now we'll hear from Kelly Petty, who, along with her staff, work hard each year to recognize students of character and to support teachers, coaches, and administrators throughout the county with character education curriculum and program ideas. Thank you for joining us in honoring 30 remarkable Tulare County students in the 2020 Kids of Character Awards program.
Thank you, Mr. Heyer. This year's Kids of Character campaign has been one for the ages. As we opened the school year, we seriously considered if this was the right time to continue traditional Kids of Character campaign for National Character Counts Week. So many concerns ran through our minds. Do our teachers know their students well enough to send us nominations? Are students in a place where they are able to focus on academics and character? Will people have the time to nominate students among all of their other new life adjustments? Well, within hours of releasing this campaign, nominations started coming in, a clear sign that this campaign was more important than ever. By campaign closing time, we received over 4,600 students of character from 143 schools in Tulare County. You are about to meet 30 of these students, our finest students of character this county has to offer. To take you through the student award announcements, I will now turn the narration over to Jean Mendez, our Character Counts facilitator.
Our first pillar is trustworthiness. Let's meet our first finalist, Mario Calderon. Mario is a senior at Farmersville High School. Nominator Audrey Westbrook says Mario is actively involved in Farmersville FFA and the Agricultural Department. His motivation, enthusiasm, and drive to get involved in everything he can in the chapter and beyond is contagious. He also assists in many projects at the school farm, from greenhouse production to small animal care. He works hard and shows respect to his peers, fellow officers, advisors, and community members. He has always been respectful of people, animals, and school property. We are extremely proud of the man Mario has grown to be. Next, meet Isaac Garcia, who is an 8th grader at Stone Corral School. Nominator Christopher Kemper says polite, conscientious, hardworking, friend to all are just a few ways we can describe Isaac Garcia. We can always depend on him to be on task, follow directions, and be eager to learn, even in virtual classes. Socially, Isaac is a friend to everyone. He greets classmates and his teachers with a good morning each day and leaves us with a have a great evening. Please and thank you are common parts of his daily conversations. Now we have Rebecca Kassab, who is in 11th grade at Harmony Magnet Academy. Nominator Vicki Edwards says Rebecca stood out from the first day of school as being distinctively trustworthy. When I ask if anyone has any questions and no one responds, she will. When I ask for students to share work via screen share, Rebecca offers. In putting herself forward, she then inspires others to do the same. But she never overrides another student. She is willing to let others go first, and she responds with positive feedback. And here is Harper Mendonça. She's a third grader at Palo Verde Union School. Nominator Stacy Gimardi says, Harper is a student who models and displays trustworthiness in this distance learning model. She listens and cares about what others have to say, which shows that she values and cares about the thoughts and experiences of the other students in class. She does what is right even when someone isn't looking. She does her work with diligence and effort. If she has a question or needs additional help, she seeks out that help because she truly cares about doing her best. Our top honoree for trustworthiness is Sutter Lautenschlager, 9th grader from Harmony Magnet Academy.
Sutter brought to my attention a discrepancy in my policy about copying, but also brought to my attention copyright law infringement when asked to copy the definitions of the vocabulary words in our curriculum. When originally assigned the first vocabulary lesson, I told students to write the definitions in their own words because they would be using sources outside the provided curriculum. In the second vocabulary assignment, I allowed students to use the online curriculum for defining their vocabulary words, and I said it was okay to copy those definitions. Sutter brought to my attention the copyright law because he did not want to copy anything he does not have the right to copy. Sutter was the only student out of 95 students to raise this concern with me, which made his honesty and trustworthiness really stand out to me. That and many other distance learning experiences with Sutter have shown me he is an honest, trustworthy student, the kind that would not cheat even if he had a golden opportunity to do so without ever being caught. It is evident that this honesty comes from being honest with himself, and for these reasons, I nominate Sutter Lautenschlager for Character Counts recognition.
Our next pillar is respect. Our first finalist is David Castellanos. He is a first grader at Royal Oaks Elementary School. Nominator Arlene Cotta says David is taking on a new school, new faces, and a new way of learning. He has jumped in with both feet and is always ready to learn. David is willing to participate. He has his materials organized nicely within arm's reach and instantly applies what is being taught. I enjoy seeing his learning wall set up right behind him with all the sight words and other clippings of the week's focus. Next, we have Gerardo Espinoza, who is in the first grade at Pleasant View Elementary School. Nominator Tashima Irving says Gerardo is always focused and ready to work, raises his hand when he needs assistance or wants to participate. I never have to worry about him interrupting other students. He understands the importance of waiting his turn. Gerardo is respectful to other students and he will help them answer questions when they are stuck during lessons. He is organized, respectful, and keeps his mother informed on what assignments are due. Now we have Bryce Nagel, a senior at Mission Oak High School. Nominators Daniel Dudo, Clemente Fagundes, and Tina Setzer comment, Bryce had the opportunity to interact with other FFA students from across the nation. During that interaction, Bryce was always respectful to others and showed true interest in them. He built multiple relationships with students and was an excellent representative of Tulare and the state of California. Bryce consistently shows respect to the advisors and teachers in the program. He has earned the respect of his peers by leading by example and is always willing to help others. And this is Omar Sarmiento, who is in the first grade at Cutler Elementary School. Nominator Raquel Barragan says Omar embodies respect throughout the learning day. He has been a role model for his fellow classmates, showing others how to engage via distance learning with respect. Perhaps the most impressive thing is the way Omar waits patiently, with his hand up when he has a connection to make. He waits patiently, does not talk out of turn, and enjoys hearing his classmates share out as well. And the top honoree for respect is Danica Schaub, an 8th grader at Kings River Union School.
Hello, my name is Jenny Burrow. I teach the Art and Gate programs at Kings River Union Elementary School near Kingsburg. I've nominated Danica Schwab for Character Counts for a variety of reasons, the main reason being for respect and caring. It is difficult to decide which student to nominate in a situation like this when there are so many deserving students. Teachers take considerable time to come to one choice out of those many possibilities. Danica stood out in my mind. I have known Danica since she was in the 3rd grade. She has been a wonderful student when I have had her for the last 5 years in gait and art classes. Danica takes pride in coming to class prepared and makes the best use of her time while there. Of course, we are working under entirely unique circumstances this year, and our gait classes are all in distance learning. Danica holds her consistent responsibility in being online for class and completing her work even under these stressful circumstances. I was recently uprooted by the Creek Fire and was in evacuation from my home for 9 days. This delayed our gait classes beginning by 2 weeks. I received an email from Danica, which she stated she hoped everything was all right and that we could be back home soon. Of course, I didn't get that email until after I returned home. I answered her, and she sent an email back saying she was happy everything was all right, and she was looking forward to beginning our gait classes. This is just an example of the kind-hearted gestures this student does on a regular basis. She is sensitive to others' feelings and is always there to help with supportive words or deeds when they are needed. This, to me, is the epitome of respect for an 8th grade student to be concerned in this way for teachers. Danica is in the 8th grade this year, and I will miss her terribly when she moves on to high school. Her character of caring for other people shines through with the good teaching she's received from home. Danica carries this good parenting while in the school setting with her attitude of caring for her peers and teachers. Danica carries her own health issues every day, yet her heart is always there to help someone else. I nominated Danica with a personal connection here because it just solidifies what I have always known from this young lady. I am both thrilled and delighted she was selected for this prestigious Character Counts Award. It is well deserved. Thank you.
Our 3rd pillar is responsibility. Our first finalist for responsibility is Giselle Blanco Hernandez. She's a junior from Dinuba High School. Nominator Brittany Sumter says, Giselle displays all the qualities of the Character Counts traits, but responsibility is the one characteristic that stands out. She was diagnosed with a medical condition which impacted her academics negatively. She shared how she spent the quarantine working on bettering herself, both mentally and physically. Giselle has taken responsibility to work on herself. The work and assignments that she has been submitting has been phenomenal. Next, we have Diana Renaga, who is in the 8th grade at Hope School. Nominator Justin Bailey says, when Diana first arrived in class, she was a shy young girl who did not speak much in front of her peers. During distance learning, Diana has taken charge and is a very hard worker who is conscientious of always giving 100% and willing to go the extra mile. Diana is very dedicated, completes her work on time, and is very attentive to detail, which is necessary in her core subjects. And now we have David Romero. He is in the 11th grade at Menachie High School. Nominator Christy Bennett says the Menachie Ag Department presented David an unpaid job on the farm to plant pumpkins for the fall season. David jumped at the opportunity. He said, I just want to be outside and have a project and something to do. David continues to take care of his pumpkin plants, and they are flourishing to this day. It is comforting to know that I can step away from the farm and trust that David could handle the task needed to keep the farm in check. He is truly a pillar of responsibility. And here is Camila Sali Gobran Said, who is in the 9th grade at Dinuba High School. Nominators Tamara Tomlinson and Monica Areola comment, Gamela was really struggling at the beginning of this school year, with distracting conditions at home and challenging internet connections. She completed all of her missed work in spite of all of the challenges. Gamela is very kind and respectful, a self-starter and a hard worker. If Gamela does not know the answer, she will utilize her resources and find the answer or the person that can help her. And our top honoree for responsibility is Santiago Vazquez. He is a 5th grader at Wilson Elementary School in Tulare.
Santiago is self-disciplined and sets an excellent example for his classmates. He has an amazingly positive attitude and is diligent in all tasks and assignments. I can always count on Santiago to do what he is supposed to do. He has managed to overcome difficult challenges this trimester and finds a way to get online and participate every day. One day, Santiago rode around in the car with his caregiver when the home internet was down, just to make sure he didn't miss class. It is with great pleasure that I nominate Santiago Vasquez as an outstanding kid of character.
Our next pillar is fairness. Our first finalist for the Pillar of Fairness is Damien Chacon, a 4th grade student at Lincoln Elementary School in Exeter. Nominator Betsy Bentley says, "I've been so impressed with Damien's leadership skills in our breakout room sessions. He skillfully leads conversations and is able to provide guidance in his group. He gently leads his classmates to read passages and answer questions. Damien impresses me with his maturity and sense of responsibility. I am honored to be his teacher and have the opportunity to nominate him for this award." Next, we have Noah Rodriguez, a 2nd grader at Roosevelt Elementary School. Nominator Selena Rhodes says, "Noah is always showing his classmates how to participate and play fairly. He takes turns speaking in Zoom class and listens to his peers share their thoughts. He keeps an open mind about his peers' likes and dislikes. He is mindful of his participation, always wanting his classmates to chime in as well. Noah is a wonderful example of fairness in our classroom." Now we have Kaylee Valenzuela, who's in the 6th grade at Alice G. Mulcahy Middle School. The Choices After School program staff says, "Kaylee has demonstrated responsibility by being on time and participating in every activity. She has really been an example to her peers on what responsibility looks like and in our program. Kaylee is willing to continue with the after-school program and make sure she is participating in every aspect. Kaylee is a kind, respectful, and trustworthy student who is very well-rounded. Her family and teachers are very proud of the young adult she is becoming. She has really been an example to her peers on what responsibility looks like in our program." Christopher Vasquez is next. He is in the 3rd grade at Liberty School. Nominator Peyton Lakey says, "Chris is always willing to share in class, formulates his answers to the questions in a way that helps other students understand better, and truly cares for his teachers and classmates. He will often ask things like, 'How was your weekend?' or 'How did everyone sleep last night?' because he wants to make sure everyone is doing okay." The top honoree for the Fairness Pillar is Adair Ponzo Alvera, who is in the 2nd grade at Highland Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Loya, and I am so honored to have had Adair Ponzo Olvera be selected for the Character Counts Awards for Fairness. Adair is truly a fair student. He has demonstrated that throughout our Zoom meetings, and he is a kind, generous student with his words. Adair, during our guided reading, he will stop with a quiet hand and share, "Wow, Mrs. Loya, he did a great job. Keep it up." Adair goes beyond that. He has such a kind heart for all others. And to top that off, on a time when I was giving dojo points, he said, "Mrs. Loya, I don't deserve those points." I said, "Adair, why not?" He said, "Because I didn't do the same reading because my parents couldn't pick up my books. I did a different reading." I said, "Yes, you did, but you completed your work. You did your math, your writing, and the reading, but you did a different reading out of here. But I am so happy that you shared that with me because that lets me know what kind of person you are. You are a very fair student. Thank you for showing your fairness, but you deserve those points." I am so honored to have Adair in my class. He will be a true leader of fairness in the future. Thank you, Adair. Keep up the great work.
Our 5th pillar is caring. Let's meet Maddox Aginaga. He's in the 4th grade at Rocky Hill Elementary School. Nominator Katie Tomkak says, "Going through distance learning thus far has shown Maddox's true colors. He is an outstanding student and classmate that our class is extremely lucky to have. Maddox noticed that there was trash on campus and took the initiative to start a club to pick up trash during recess. He has a huge heart and a passion for helping others before taking care of himself. It is his selflessness and his drive that has made this nomination an easy one to make." Now we have John Paul Barba, a 3rd grader at Palo Verde Union School. Nominator Stacy Gimbardi says, "John Paul always greets everyone with a smile and hello. He cares very much that students get a chance to speak and share when they are willing and ready to volunteer. He unmutes his microphone and reminds me when someone has the hand gesture up or an actual hand up. John Paul helps keep an eye on students who lost their internet connectivity and may have missed what was happening during Zoom. This helps with follow-up after class. Our next finalist is Sofia Briseño, and she is in the 6th grade at Pinkham Elementary School. Nominator Frank Giglia says Sophia quickly addressed that using a digital platform was incredibly difficult for most students in her class. Sophia asked if she could create a digital how-to presentation for her peers to keep up with assignments from their teacher. The students in her class were very appreciative that she took the time to help them. Sometimes having a fellow student explain how to do something is just enough of an extra push to help with understanding. Here is Janessa Cervantes, who is a senior at Accelerated Charter High School. Nominators Wendy Powell, Christopher Covert, and Roxanne Bernard comment, Janessa is responsible for her current senior level courses, and she is also taking care of 5 kids below the age of 10 daily while family members are at work. Janessa is someone that staff can count on at school, even during distance learning. She is always willing to help her teachers and others. Janessa is the first student logged into Zoom class, and she is always one of the first students to complete her work while maintaining high grades in all of her classes. Our top honoree for caring this year is Abigail L. Munyon, who is a 10th grader at University Preparatory High School.
Abigail was nominated because she is truly one of the most caring individuals that we've ever met. Her caring nature was magnified in March of this year when students were thrust into distance learning. With both of her parents working full-time, Abby and her siblings faced distance learning on their own. This was made even more difficult for Abby's younger sister, Kaylee, who's on an IEP. Without Abby, we don't know how we would have kept the household running. In addition to her own set of classwork and Zoom meetings, Abigail made meals for her siblings, kept them entertained, and even helped her sister take her medication every day. Her calming nature and quiet demeanor brought a sense of peace to a difficult and scary time. Abby's caring nature shined brightest around her younger sister. Abigail took the lead on teaching her schoolwork with patience and kindness, even when frustration was high. Throughout this, Abigail maintained her status on the principal's honor roll and her above 4.0 GPA while also taking college classes at College of the Sequoias. While most people in her situation would be frustrated or angry, Abigail was far from it. When we come home from work every day, laughing and giggles can be heard from inside the house. The girls are usually dancing and singing together. During a time when many students are feeling anxious and upset, Abby and her sister continue to smile. Abigail does not do all of the above because we've asked her to or because she was forced to. Abigail does these things just because that's who she is.
And our 6th and final pillar is citizenship. And our first honoree is Brett Hulls. He is in the 2nd grade at Sunnyside Union School. Nominator Gloria Ramos says Brett started the year with his great-grandmother helping him get on Zoom. He relied on her doing it all. As frustrations arose for Grandma Kathy, Brett stepped up and learned how to take his education into his own hands. He did this as a responsible student and caring great-grandson, knowing how important it was to not only do this for himself, but for Grandma Kathy as well. I am proud of him for doing things on his own and relieving Grandma Kathy of so much she never managed she would ever do in her lifetime. Our next finalist is Addison Nunez, who is an 8th grader at Pixley Middle School. Nominators Nicholas Tettleton and Deborah McCaskill say Addison has continued to support the community of Pixley through many community service projects, lifting up her peers both emotionally and academically, and demanding a sense of accountability and standards for all those around her. This is a young lady who impacts others with her great spirit. With her drive and determination, Addison is a great role model to other youth, as a leader, a dedicated scholar, and a vibrant member of her community. This is Joshua Rodriguez. He's a senior at Tulare Union High School. Nominators Darren Bennett and Mark Hatton say, Josh is a credit to our community. He has spent countless hours cleaning up the roadsides in the Tulare area. In class and on campus, Josh is always there to help the younger students with anything they need. Josh is humble, kind, and caring. Josh always makes the younger students feel welcome and safe. Josh has been a starting linebacker on Tulare Union's varsity football team. His willingness to take the younger athletes under his wing and mentor them is a joy to watch. And here is Samuel Vargas, who is a junior at Porterville Military Academy. Nominator Captain Archer says, During distance learning, Samuel still goes out of his way to help new and veteran cadets. He can spot when cadets are having a bad day and doesn't hesitate to see if he can either brighten their days or find a way to help the cadets resolve problems. He volunteers for many events in the community and activities that deal directly with Porterville Military Academy. He continues to work at his parents' restaurant, and he still maintains a 4.0 GPA. The top honoree for the citizenship pillar is Yahir Rivera Chavez, a senior at El Diamante High School.
Yahir is an exceptional student that has been an active member of our agricultural program and FFA chapter here at El Diamante since July of 2018. He is not exceptional because of his wonderful smile and most appreciative attitude, but rather his dedication to his family and education. Yahir is a third-year agricultural mechanics student and FFA member at El Diamante High School. He has been very active in our FFA chapter by participating in various meetings, conferences, industry tours, career development events, and fundraisers. Last year, he helped our FFA cotton judging team place 5th high team in the California FFA cotton judging contest hosted by Fresno State in November. He maintains a high GPA at El Diamante by taking AP classes, foreign language, Math 3, and many other academically challenging courses. Last semester, he earned a GPA of 3.5. What makes him truly merit this recognition is that Yahir does all that he can to do to provide for his family and future success by the work that he does in his family's main source of income, which is agricultural production. He has worked at over 600 hours in a supervised ag experience project. His main crops include harvesting melons, olives, and citrus. He is currently submitting a Tulare King sectional FFA proficiency application for his hours and income he has contributed to his family in the area of pomology production placement. This is my 18th year in ag education, and it is not often I have a student like him. He never complains. He always has a positive and caring attitude. His citizenship is outstanding, and I learned from his dedication and hard work that he does for his family and future career success.
This year, Tulare County Superintendent of Schools Tim Heyer and the Tulare County Office of Education once again proudly thank and support the Provident-Salierno Family Foundation Character Award. The award, which was established 8 years ago by Tony and Mary Salerno, honors Tulare County students whose behaviors and acts of compassion define the essence of good character. From the very beginning, Tony and Mary have been part of the bedrock foundation of our community's effort to make character development a permanent part of the moral fabric of our community. In his famous "I Have a Dream" speech from the Lincoln Memorial in March of 1963, Dr. King famously said, "I have a dream that one day my own children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." We'd like to thank Mary and Tony Salerno, as well as the many other individuals, businesses, and community service organizations for making Dr. King's dream a reality here in Tulare County.